Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Asian report for the 28th of April. Starting with the ASX here, I have to say I really having difficulty in working out this particular pattern through here. There's a couple of possibilities here. There's a possibility, I know we got 5 waves down through here, so we can have it like this, the A, the B and the C, and finished here, and then we can come down for 1 here, back for 2 here, and come down here for wave 3 here, and then wave 4 and wave 5 coming down, making new lows here. So that's possible. The other possibility here is that this is 5 waves here. We just come down here in 5 waves, come back to the 61.8% mark, and then drop down to the 61.8% mark here, and then move off from here, and then copy this B wave comes into play here, and then we come back up here for a C wave over here. So the other annoying thing about this is that it's also possible that the B wave here can already be in at this point here, and we can move up from this point here. So I'm finding it very frustrating, and I don't have any clear answers for us. There are a couple of levels that if the market meets, then we can run with in that particular direction. And one of those is 5,400. So we'll go in and have a look at this. So from the daily chart, we'll go to the 4-hour chart here. Because we've got 5 waves, and it's quite clear that we've got 5 waves here, so we can have an A wave here, a B wave pulling back up as an A and a B and a C wave with the top in place here already, and then we move down into wave C here, and we look for the 50-60% retracement level from this low here to this high here. We'll pop that in here. So there's the 50-60% retracement level here. As I mentioned too, that it's possible to, if I just copy that here for a moment, it's possible to have this as a wave 3 coming into this space here, and then a wave 4 and a wave 5 coming down. I just don't know. Because all of this is really quite sort of messy. I can see all of this being corrective. I can see this as a corrective move here. The other one that I've got here is on the, so they're basically the bearish sides here. Okay, so we could go short under the, we could probably get a better position, but let's just say for the time being, short trades can be taken at 5,200 as resistance, or even below that. Let's just say 5,200, that particular low here. That's the short side. Now, as a short trade, it could just get us to down into the 5,000 area, maybe a tad below that, and then reverse on us and move up from that point as an A and a B and a C, and move up from that point. We need to be aware of that. And also a wave 3. If it's going to be a wave 3, it's going to move quicker and faster than this wave 1 here. If it's going to be a wave C here, then it's going to be a bit more lazier than this first move down through here. It will be on a bit more of an angle over here, so to speak. A bit more lazy, but a wave 3 would bring it down into this space. So the personality can be judged by the angle of the structure. The other count for this here, I know this is really annoying, but I've got to look at everything. So the other count here on the bullish side is looking at, this is an A wave here, then a smaller A wave here, and then a smaller A, B, and 5 waves up here for the C wave of B here, and then coming down from B down to C to make wave B here. So an A wave here, an A and a B and a C for the B wave here, and then we move up from this point. Now, the thing here though is that from that high to this low here, the 5,400 is the 61.8% retracement level. So for a bullish trade to take place, we need that 5,400 as the support. Okay, there's another way to count this A, B, and going up 5 waves up here for C into the 61.8%. The other way to treat this is looking at all of this as the A wave here, and then an A and a B and a C wave to this point here, and then we go up from that point. But it still leaves us in the same position. We must have that 5,400 as the support. So just going into the hourly chart, so that's the long and the short of it really. The long trades take place, let's just bring this in here. I mean, it's just a bit unfortunate. The long, unless I get some more information, so the long trades take place with 5,400 as the support. And you could probably even buy the top here, to be honest, if you just put this here for a moment. But I'll just put this in here as a half trade, thinner line. And the short trade here, I know this is really simplistic and basic and so on, but looking at this particular correction here, or looking at this particular pattern here, I can see that I've got 5 waves up here, not a problem. And then I think I might just go to the 15-minute chart if that's cool, just so we can get a little bit more detail in here. So I know that we've got 5 waves up here, so we could have this as wave 1 here, and then but if it was wave 1, then wave 2 would be simple and sharp, and we could have it as an A and a B and a C for wave 2 here. That's possible. Then wave 1 here, because we've got 5 waves here. Then back here, it looks like a C wave in here, and then we've got 5 waves up here that finish here, and that's supposed to got 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 5 here. So that top in play here, what we're going to do with that is we'll just make that half a trade here. Okay, and we could also make, and we know that the 5,400 here, we know that that support on top of that would send us to the upside. So I'll just copy that. If we get support on top of this level, you'd need a classic trading levels pattern to sit on top of that level there. So I'll just fatten that little guy up. And that sort of takes care of the long side. And the short side here, if we look at this here, from this low here to this high here, and look at the 50-60% retracement level here, which will be in this space here. So then we can just have a look at our levels. So we know that, well, all of that's in group 2, from 300 down to 200. We've got 1, 2, and 3 that make up group 1. Then we've got the midpoint here at 50, and then we've got 65 here, 65, 72, and well, close enough, and 80 in here. So all of that support is in group 2 here. So if that group 2 becomes the retested resistance, then we can also look for a short trade here as well and start to build in on this one here. And if we just go up and grab the little fatty, which is, I think we'll put it under the 50. Just make sure that it's under the 50 here. Just make sure that you've got a classic trading levels pattern to the downside on that. So that would look something like that. You need, if that's the level here, you definitely need that to, you definitely need that strong, that move through the 50, go back up and retest it. First entry, second entry here. So just make sure that it becomes the resistance. It's only the resistance if it takes out a previous low. There's a couple of ways it can do that, but so that kind of, I guess that's helpful in terms of strategy to a point. Just better watch this trend line through here as well. I always like to play their part in that. So you can treat trend lines the same as the levels in that, what I mean by that is that the market comes down, bounces back off it, and oops, wasn't a very good bounce, second bounce was it, but it comes through the level and then comes back up and retests it. And that will be in 3 waves, that retest, if it's going to fail. And also it'll be on lower volume coming back up here compared to down through here. So, and move back down that way. So it's just migrating from one space to another, and it's just the way it moves through. So it's just helpful to know that. And it doesn't matter what you do. You could, if you see that in 3 waves here, you could short under this low. So that it doesn't matter what you do, as long as you know what you're doing, and you can build in, as long as you know the general pattern, you can kind of follow that map into the future, ahead, whatever. Yeah, let's move on. So moving on to Hong Kong. So with Hong Kong, we've been quite bearish with this market in the bigger picture, but at the same time, we're also looking for the market to move up in a bullish regard. We were looking at sort of China and the S&P to do that. So we understood here that this move down here can be corrective, and we understood that this is 5 waves here. So we understood that after this 5 waves pulling back to the 61.8%, we traded it down to here, then we need to go long, but we wanted to go long on the level. So this would have been the first entry in here. We had another second entry at this point here, and now we're up here. And if I'm looking at this here, I'll just count what I can see first. So I'm going from this low here as 1 and 2 here, and we've got a little 3 and 4 sitting here, and a 5. I don't know if that's finished, but it'll be close in there. And then we still got this here. So I don't know if this is all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. It does give us a B wave here, so it's quite a bit of an important top here. What to do? I think what bothers me here a little bit is that let me just borrow these. It might not be the case, but this, we just need to look at it. So we've got this, just looking at this getting a little bit uglier here. That's all. I'm just looking at the negative side of the market. So this move up through here can be counted as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave to here. I'm going to include all of this here as wave 1 and 2 here, and 3 and 4 and 5 here. That will take us into 2,500. We know that 5 is the second strongest number, so we know there's going to be resistance there at that point there anyway. So I think that we should take profit, really, and then what we can do is we can just get back in if proven otherwise. So in this case, let's just close that there. I'll just put it a little bit below the level, so just take the money off the table here now. It's not that we'll get this A, B, and C here. The market can continue to the upside, but what we're looking for here is that we want to see the market come up to here, touch on that, kick back to support, push up here higher, then have an ABC correction here, and then push up again here, and then what we'll do is we'll go long again over here if that's the case. I mean, as a 5-wave structure here, it's not any longer really than this one here, so that's what makes me think that that we could be in trouble at this point with this trade. Look, I think that's a sensible thing to do. We've got the old high here. Let's just take profit right now with this, and then let's just wait to see if this is the case. I mean, it could certainly just move up, but this A, B, and C here is a possibility. But let's just see what gets delivered here first. Let's just lock in that money there. And in terms of stops, if you want to continue to the upside, you'd still have to leave a wider stop, because if this was 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it may go up higher. Probably will comparing it to wave 1 and wave 3 here. I think it's just better to take the money off the table rather than even moving a stop in here, really. Well, I'll put the stop there just in case you want to continue to the upside. because you don't want it. That's the support, because if that's 1, 2, 3, 4 here and 5 here, that's the support. So you need that there. So if you want to stay in it, then that would be it at that particular point. But at this old high, there'll definitely be some sort of vibration here at that stage. So let's just see. So I don't know if this is the A, the B, and the C. I don't even know if this is an A and a B and a C. It could be more bullish than that. But let's just take it step by step. So let's just lock in what we've got here. Just save that. Over to India. So with India, let's just clean this up a little bit. So we had 5 waves going up here. That was cool. And then we were looking back into this space, and we will go with this box is green because we're going to buy in the green box, and then we're going to add here and add here. So I can also see that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So it may go a little bit higher in this 5th wave here. I'm not quite sure about that, but at minimum what we can expect here, it does look rather bullish in a way, but if I just put this in here, that will bring us back into that space. And this is also a bit of a classic trading levels pattern too on the bullish side here. So if we think of this line through here as the 300 here, this 300 through here, so this means we've got the arrival, the reaction, and the first high above the level. So in that case, we would be looking for an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here, and then up from that point. But then what would happen at that point is that we take this, copy this here, and we would go on that second low here. I mean, it's taken a while to get to this point, hasn't it? But this is the beauty of Group 1 here, because once you understand the number 3 by itself in a bullish market, you can see that none of these, like if I was going to go long here, I wouldn't do that. I'd have to wait till I got support on top of the 3 here. And trading above it's not support. The retest helps it a bit. That's not support, you know, but that can just be the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, then the ABC. Well, we didn't get an ABC correction to give us a setup. We don't know if we're going to get it here. We probably will get it here. But at the same time, I think we need to protect ourselves a little bit. So what we can do, we can use this here. We can put that under here. So that will be, we'll just keep that lower. I'll just keep it lower under here at 46. Okay, so that's it sitting at 46. And we've got to get through all of this. So we've got a bit of a pyramid in our trade. So we've got this position, this one, and this one. So the time the market gets back down to here, it would have wiped out our money. So what we need to do is we need to take some money right here now. I'll leave it big, and I'll leave that up to you, but definitely look at sort of 70% or 60% of the money at that particular point. And then we'll just get some more information, and we'll move back at that, and we'll move back in at that stage. Better to be safe than sorry. I always try to make balanced decisions, not to be too greedy, and not to be too scared as well. I mean, the funny thing about greed is that, you know, the thing is that when greed gets hold of you, the problem with that is that you don't really acknowledge the risks that you're taking. That's what greed is to me. It's like you go into la la land and you think that it's going to go up forever or go in your direction forever. And now and again you'll be lucky and it will. But steady as she goes, Captain. Alrighty, cheers.